This is Boxing Tickets NI. We are delighted to be joined once again with Shauna O'Keeffe, who obviously makes her professional debut this weekend. I can see the smiles in your face already. You're 4 days out from your pro debut. It's probably been a long 3 months of preparing for this moment. I'm sure it's like Christmas Eve to you right now.
Yeah, it is. The countdown is officially on. We're in fight week, and I'm extremely excited to get out there on Friday. I cannot wait.
Obviously, and I seen you in the Three Arena, not Saturday past, but the Saturday before. You wouldn't have thought you had a fight coming up. You were singing, you were dancing the whole night. I was sort of, I was sort of regretting I didn't take a few videos of you going mad, but I guess you're a fan of sport and everything else. Obviously, being Irish and everything else, have been a heavily populated Irish card. You definitely made sure you enjoyed your evening.
Yeah, Jerry Coughlin said the exact same thing. He said he never seen a woman with so many moves, outside the ring as well as inside. It's the atmosphere and the buzz. I absolutely love it. It lights something in me. Every show I go to, it's the exact same. What the music is playing and the buzz is there. Yeah, I'm high on life with that kind of thing. Yeah, to be honest with you, I love it. Absolutely love it.
You've been to quite a few shows, obviously, over the last few months, I guess. And in some ways, you were sort of trying to do groundwork to sort of get on. Obviously, it's no secret you wanted to try and get on the Three Arena card, but is the whole thought process behind going to some of these cards has been able to experience the atmosphere so that you can obviously picture yourself in these moments as well, but being able to experience as a fan, to see sort of the good and the bad things of sort of boxing so you can prepare yourself for whenever you go into York Hall on Friday night.
Yes, of course, and it's also networking. It's showing face. Like everyone that looks at a woman in a dress that has muscles, they automatically think straight away, oh, this girl's a fighter. So you never know who you're sitting beside, or you never know who you're going to talk to. And there's a lot of people I've got to talk to over the last couple of months at different shows, which benefits me because after talking to me, they get excited about my career. Like, got talking to these two men, they're big boxing fans as well, and he was skating at me because like I'm well able to talk, as everybody knows, and he's like, oh, do you know, there's one thing you need to work on is your confidence. And I said, yeah, I know, I must go home and start talking to myself in the mirror to build more confidence. And he said, here, will you hold on, girl, you have enough of it. And I was like, I know,
It's
stuff like this. Yeah, it's really good.
it's a big selling point for obviously anybody if you can obviously talk. It's half your battle. Obviously, you want to be remembered for everything you sort of do in the ring, but you really need to be talk as well because interviews and obviously building your own profile are a massive part of the sport. So if you already have that in abundance and you have your confidence, it's just the easy part now and letting your fists show what they can do.
Yeah, that's it. That is exactly it.
You know, but whenever obviously you made that decision to sort of go on pro and everything else, like you've had 3 months now of obviously being with Kevin and everything else. Is it everything you sort of thought it was going to be? So have you had sort of any challenges, sort of anything you sort of, I guess as time goes on, you're going to build that experience. But is it everything sort of so far do you imagine it was going to be?
Yes and no. So I had an interview yesterday with the Irish Sun, and everybody thinks by looking at the social media and see me thriving in my training and everything going well, that everything's going well. But no, we hit a lot of bumps in the road. I'm not going to lie. There was actually more setbacks than there was like positive experiences throughout the last 3 months. It's I'm very, very lucky. I'm extremely headstrong and I've thick skin, and I'm able to deal with setbacks as well as like good moments. Like, there was days there where things were going so wrong and I was getting in for sparring, and there's so much like noise in your head, but I was still able to turn up in the sparring and absolutely kill it. And that's a huge thing to have in a fighter. So as everybody knows, 90% is mental, 10% is physical. But like, if your head is taken up by absolutely anything, it's really hard to perform, and it shows in the ring. But I had many, many setbacks. I'm not going to lie. It's been a hard few weeks, few months with the transition over here, and there has been a lot of things that more or less could have stopped me on my tracks. And if it was anyone weaker, they would have been like, no, I'm not going to do this. It's too much. But I know challenges on my way are the reasons why I'm going to become the fighter I'm going to become, and why I'm going to go all the way, because as they say, if you stop in your tracks with challenges you're going to get, you'll never make it. But it's God challenging me. Am I worthy of this? Am I actually going to give it all? And no matter what you throw at me, I'm going to fight tenfold harder. I'm going to fight harder and harder. And that's what I did. So I'm extremely grateful for the challenges and the setbacks and everything I've dealt with over the last 12 weeks, because it's made me a really, really, really tough, solid fighter. And no matter what is going on in my mind, it will never show in the ring. I will always show up and do the job. So I'm extremely grateful for that, to be honest.
It's, I guess, obviously, if everything goes easy, like, you know, a lot of people out there nowadays, as you well know, everybody wants to hear the good news. Sometimes nowadays they don't want to hear the bad news. And if everything went easy, everybody would be doing this sport. You know, like we see it week in, week out, sort of fight cards falling through, opponents pull out, and everything else. You know, you have to be mentally strong in this game. And I guess for you, in some ways, they have it straight away from the start, prepares you for it. You know, it's like, you know, until you put that gloves on, gum shield in, anything can happen in the sport.
Yeah, exactly. It's one thing I've noticed. Not too many people talk about the setbacks and everything that can go wrong. Like, when people say this is a dog sport, it's an understatement, and you need thick skin for this sport, and it's not for the faint-hearted. And you wouldn't want to have feelings coming into it, because you can be told that like the sun, moon, and stars is there, and then you end up getting a shitstorm of like absolute disastrous stuff happening to you. But it's whether you go with it or you shy away from it. And with me, I just kept going with it and just kept praying that this is only a little blip in the road, and this is me being tested whether I want it enough. And every time, it just goes to show what happens in that moment. In 5 minutes, 10 minutes, maybe an hour later, you don't even remember it. It's completely irrelevant. We can make huge scenarios out of something so small. It's just the way we're built. We can't be like that in this sport. You literally take the knot in the head and you just on to the next one. And that's just the way it has to go.
We'll take a wee break from yourself a moment. Obviously, I want to go back, obviously, to Dublin, because, you know, I know that's going to be a big inspiration for you moving forward. Me and you had spoke, obviously, in the build up during the fight card and things like that. So we were obviously of the same opinion that Katie was going to come back, and obviously she was going to get back victorious. Were you? I guess in some ways you're probably not going to be surprised, because you've shared a ring with Katie and everything else, but like, that's Katie Taylor for you, isn't it? She's able to roll back the years, and, you know, probably that's her best performance probably in about 4 or 5 years, and what an atmosphere as well in the three arena.
Yeah, I feel it's probably the best I've seen her since that second fight with Delphine Persoon.
Mm-hmm.
That in my definitely, but it just goes to show that Katie Taylor wasn't Katie Taylor on May the 20th, and Chantelle Cameron was at her best of best on May the 20th. So it just went to show that Katie Taylor wasn't on form, and Chantelle Cameron showed up exactly the way she showed up on May the 20th last weekend, but Katie Taylor showed up in tenfold, and you could see it. Chantelle didn't have an answer for absolutely anything. Katie's tactics were down to a T. People can give out about what they want. People do worse in the sport. You do what you do to win. It's the point of the sport. And Katie Taylor, she literally left nothing in the ring. She left everything in the ring, and it just goes to show it. It shows excitement for it. And another thing, people should never doubt her. And it's another thing that I'm noticing. So you need to, like, as you say, you need to show everything in the ring. And I know you won't get the respect that you deserve until you show it in the ring. And that's what I plan to do on December the 8th, exact same way Katie did. I plan to show that I'm going to be the next big thing, and I'm going to become very unstoppable very early on by showcasing my skill on December the 8th. And Katie, because of what Katie's done throughout her career, I want to do the exact same thing and more, to be honest with you. I'm 29 years of age. I have loads of years ahead of me. So I have an exciting career. Yeah.
29 was around about the same time that Katie turned over as well, I believe. Was it about 28, 29? So she turned over 20.
She was 30 in the Olympics, so it was 30 when she turned over.
Yeah, so obviously, if you were to, obviously, you know, everybody's going to want to be, obviously, what Katie's achieved at the very, you know, at the very least, you obviously might want to go more and things like that. And I know you're completely different. I'm not trying to sort of make comparisons in any way, because everybody's going to be different in some ways. But if you're turning over a year earlier, you obviously have a year more they achieve sort of what Katie's done in that time. But I was going to say Irish boxing, but obviously Irish boxing is going to boom because the talents in the amateur system that may turn over next year. There's quite a lot of them there, obviously, with the Olympics not looking like being there for 2028. A lot of these Irish ladies will turn over, but women's boxing in the last 7 years has moved to a different level from where it ever was before. So it's only right that you can dream very early on of being a world champion, because it can happen in 5, 6, 7 fights.
Yeah, it can. Like the way we're looking at it, there's no reason why I can't have a title shot by 4. And if that works out, when that works out, no ifs, buts, or maybes, when that does work out, the world title shot can be between 6 and 8 fights. It's the way Katie did it, so there's no reason why I can't. And my pedigree is very good, and the levels I'm going up in such a small space of time is huge. I'm great to listen. I'm a hard worker, and the sparring I'm getting is quality. Like, it's just quality. So I'll only improve more and more. And as the fights go on, I'll improve more and more. And yeah, I set a target. I wrote on a whiteboard in my apartment in Belfast. I still have it there, that I'll be world champion by 2025. There's no reason why it can't be done between 16 and 18 months. It gives a great it's a good target to have.
Obviously speaking, on obviously, world titles and everything else. Obviously, you've been sparring Caroline Dubois, which is obviously a really good indicator, I guess. In maybe some ways, you're looking towards that sort of future. That could be a potential opponent in the future as well. But I guess when you can get in with obviously an IBO champion straight away before you've made your debut, then it's obviously it's giving you something to inspire to be, how they carry themselves in and out of the ring. You've seen it with a lot of other people as well. So it's probably giving you more of a taste of probably what's to come for yourself.
Yes, of course it has. It's also given me an indication of where I'm at before I even have a fight. So Caroline's 10-0 at my weight. The other girl I spar is Zoe. She's 4. She's had 4 pro fights in my weight. And the other girl, Carly Whitwell, she's 3-0 at my weight. So, like, they're all girls I've been fighting, and I haven't even had one fight, and I've been perfectly fine with every one of them, to be honest with you. As the rounds go on, as the spars go on, I've been getting progressively better. I started at a 4-2 rounder in September. I've been doing 8-2s, preparing for a 6-2 rounder. So my progression is moving extremely quickly, and it's not that we're running before we can walk. We're going at the speed that I can go at. There's no point waiting around. I'm 29. I want to get moving. I don't want people to get miles and miles ahead of me. I want to be just literally right behind them, and this is the way to do it.
Your opponent on Saturday night, on Friday night, she's been in there with pretty much everybody that sort of is there, a lightweight or super lightweight division. She's fought 33 times, and she's actually in a good run at the moment. She's won 4 of her last 5, but probably people look at that obviously an opponent and go, you know, the problem might goes, what's Shauna at? Is she crazy? Is she? But I guess for you, it's you want to make a statement in your pro debut. That's probably what it seems like to me. It's you beating Vada on Friday night and beating her in convincing fashion, even potentially becoming only the second person to stop her, the other one being Chantelle Cameron. That's a perfect opponent for you in your debut.
It is. So I got the opponent sent on to me, and I looked her up straight away, and yeah, she can make things awkward. I've seen it. She can be quite long. She goes on the back foot a lot, but my feet are very, very fast. My movement's quick. I'm explosive. My hand speed is really quick, and my level changing is just gone unbelievable. Like, so I've no issue with taking her. It is going to make a massive statement when I get in there and I showcase my skill. I can box and I can fight. It's going to suit me down to the ground with her. And yeah, I am glad we got this opponent, because she's been in with the best of the best. In the Natasha Jones, the Chantelle Camerons, the Caroline Dubois, and none of the only person out of the lot of them that stopped her was Chantelle Cameron. So, like, I get in there and I make a statement on Friday night, then yeah, my boxing will make me be heard, and that's what I plan to do.
I guess in some ways, obviously, it's what you probably need to do, obviously, to get the, I know where you've tried to get the fights, and because you've yet to make a debut, people are always having to look back at the amateur stuff and they don't know what you're like as a pro. It's you putting yourself in the shop window as well for obviously all these promoters. Everybody wants to get this big promotional contract. It helps get you quicker to world titles as well. So do you have one eye in that as well, that you know there's going to be people watching that obviously maybe potentially making a phone call on Saturday and saying we want to have a chat, we want to get you signed?
Yeah, we know that there's going to be a lot of people inside York Hall sitting there watching me, because I've only been here since September, and the noise I've made already, my name is floating around the UK. There's not one person that doesn't know or hasn't heard about me, because I'm walking into places and people know my name and they're coming up, oh, I've heard a lot about you, and which is huge. So yeah, I know there's going to be a lot of eyes on me, but we've plans to kind of climb the rankings to get 2-3-0, and then we'll maybe consider. I want to get mandatory for a European title shot before anything, to be honest with you. The only way to do that is to be very active, and I plan to be very active straight away in 2024 after making a huge statement. Obviously, I'm not looking past December the 8th. That's my main priority right now. I don't care about anything else. Promoters, anything else means nothing to me right now. The only huge thing for me is to get in and showcase my skill and showcase how much of an explosive and tough fighter I can be, and I can look good inside the ring, people being excited and watching me, and that's all that I want. I do that, then the rest will follow.
I'm sure you're looking forward to getting back home for Christmas. Obviously, you know, it's been away, and I know you've been back and forth, obviously at times, but obviously getting some time home at Christmas. I'm sure, you know, last Christmas, do you think that you were going to turn pro? This year, you obviously have turned pro. You've only been able to get one fight. You know, you'll only have one fight from then, but it's massive progress from just thinking of doing something. You've actually done it. You know, coming home with a victory, obviously, and being 1-0 and setting yourself up for a really big year in 2024. I'm sure you'll make the most of it.
This time last year, I was getting ready for my elites. I won my first elites in January. This time last year, I was prepping for him. So to say I'm going to be 1-0 going into Christmas is just it's insane. It's a real pinch me moment. Like, if people said to me last year that this where my life would be a year on, after maybe 14 months after only coming back boxing after 6 years sent out, I wouldn't believe it. Like, it's crazy. It's unheard of, but it just goes to show that if you really want something, you work hard enough for it, go get it. And the other thing about my family, honest to God, I cannot wait to get home and see my family and friends and spend some time. I'm only going to take a week off because I don't need any more, and I'm going straight back up to my home club, the Clonmel Boxing Club, and I'm going to work with my coaches and sparring there, and enjoy my Christmas. I'm going to eat a bit for the first week and then get back on a diet again, because we have a date already for the new year, so that'll be announced after the fight. But yeah, honest to God, I cannot wait. Camp teaches you how important the little things are, and the most important thing in my life right now, obviously apart from my boxing, is my friends and my family. So I'm looking forward to going home, making memories over the Christmas after I win this, get the W on Friday.
And obviously, I know that obviously Kevin Mitchell obviously has been very positive, obviously, on how you've settled in, and obviously in your first interview, you said they for you to let us know that obviously you're the world champion with 7 fights. How's that sort of relationship building? Obviously, trainer, fighter, obviously. Is it still you getting all this feedback from him on a daily basis, and obviously how great you are? You're gonna have good days, you're gonna have bad days, but how's that relationship been building between fighter and trainer?
To be honest, it's getting stronger and stronger, and he's getting more and more belief in me by the day, because stuff that he's teaching me, I'm implementing already. There's stuff he's asking me to do, and I'm doing it in the ring without even thinking about it. It's just naturally coming, and he believes that's because the 6 year stint I took out, I'm like a sponge now. So everything he asks me to do, he shouts instruction in the corner, and I do it instantly without even thinking of it. And he's never seen it. He'd even tell you himself, he's never seen anybody progress the way I've progressed in such a small space of time. So yeah, he's extremely, extremely excited to see where I'm going to go. He believes there's no one I can't get in the ring with, and I actually believe the exact same thing. So yeah, the relationship is extremely good. Yeah, really good.
Fantastic, and hopefully it continues to flourish in the way it is. Obviously, just want to leave it. Obviously, finally, I guess you know some people like to make predictions on their fights and everything else. I guess obviously in some ways you would love to obviously have established in your debut. It's a perfect way to make a statement. But how do you see the fight going? I wanted to sort of actually pick up one more thing. Your opponents fought 2 Irish girls previously, and she's obviously drew with one and obviously beat the other. So obviously for you as well is obviously gaining some Irish revenge over Vada on Friday night as well.
To be honest, I didn't even look into that. I did not know that.
So she fought Cheyenne O'Neill. She drew with her, and she fought Kathy McAleer.
I remember Shan, all right. Shan made her pro debut like a year and a half ago or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, and ended up a draw. So you can obviously hopefully gain some Irish revenge as well. Obviously, you know, she's unbeaten against 2 Irish opponents. So this is obviously third time's a charm.
Well, she'll be beaten by the third Irish, and that can be guaranteed. But in regards to prediction, I have a prediction in my head, and I've only told a couple of people really close to me. I'm not going to run before I can walk, as I'd say. All I want to do, to be honest with you, is to get in and showcase my skill and perform really well. As it's my first time without a headgear, my first time with 10-ounce gloves, so I want to go in. And most of all, I want to enjoy it. I'm not putting too much pressure on myself to do a KO. If it happens, it happens. And that's all I'm going with. That is all I'm going with now.
Yeah. Well, listen, obviously, I'll thank you for your time. Obviously, you know, it's obviously appreciated, particularly in fight week as well. Thankfully, we get it out of the way early before obviously the rest of the week to come. But obviously, enjoy the famous York Hall on Friday evening. Well, obviously, is the fight being streamed live on Fight Zone, or is it pre-recorded?
Yes, it's on Fight Zone. You can be found on Instagram and on Facebook. So there's a couple of avenues you can go on. So I might actually send the link through, or if you can put it up on your social media, because I want as many people tuned in as I can, get watch parties, get people posting it all over their social media. As everyone knows, how you grow as a pro fighter, it's by the support that you're getting from fans all over the world. So the more people that tune in and the more people that get behind me, the better.
Yeah, well, listen, obviously, all the very best of luck for Friday night. Not that you need the luck, but we obviously can't wait to see your hand raised on Friday evening when you go 1-0 as a pro.
Thank you so much.
All right, cheers, Shauna. Take care.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye.